be using Pink Box Simply Aran. You can use any worsted weight yarn, acrylic, cotton, wool, whatever worsted weight yarn you'd like to use, an H5 millimeter crochet hook, a yarn needle, and some scissors. To start, you will need to get your slip knot on your hook. We're going to be starting with the ribbed band along the bottom of the beanie. To get your slip knot on your hook, and we are going to chain 9. Okay, we have 9 chains for our foundation chain. Starting in the second chain from the hook, we're going to single crochet across. So I'm going to insert my hook into this second chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, single crochet across this chain. Oops. All right, now we have 8 single crochet. Our chain 1 at the beginning of the row does not count as a stitch, so we have 8 single crochet in row 1. So for row 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'll work a single crochet in this first stitch. Now in the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only. So what that means, so we have these top 2 loops of our single crochet. We would usually insert our hook into both of those loops. We are only going to insert our hook into just the back loop and then work a single crochet. And again, in the back loop only. Oops. And work a single crochet. I'm going to do that in each stitch, stopping right before the last stitch in the row. And in the last stitch, I am going to work a regular single crochet, inserting my hook into both top loops. So you can see where we did the back loop only stitch, that it pushed that front loop out forward, and that's what's going to create the ribbing along the bottom of our beanie. So for row 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, row 3, chain 1 and turn. Do a regular single crochet in my first stitch. Then I'm going to do single crochet back loop only across stopping right before my last stitch. So I'm going to do single crochet back loop only in 6 stitches. Inserting my hook only into that back loop and leaving that front loop sticking out. Okay. Now I'm going to work a regular single crochet in this last stitch. And you can see again that ridge that's starting to form from only working into the back loop of these stitches. So for row 4, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and again a regular single crochet in my first stitch, then single crochet back loop only in the next 6. And then here's my last stitch of the row. I'm going to work a regular single crochet. I like to do the regular single crochets in the first and last stitches of the row because it really creates this nice straight edge on both sides of my ribbing. So we're going to continue repeating this row to row 78, so 74 more times, all the way to row 78. So now I have worked that row, repeated that row all the way to row 78, and here is my ribbing for the bottom of my beanie. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring both ends together, and I'm going to single crochet them together so that I have this base of my hat, and I'll be working in rounds after I join these two ends together. So I'm going to I have it like this, like I was working the last row. I'm going to bring this one up. I'm going to chain one and turn, taking both of these and turning. And I'm going to insert my hook into the top loops of this single crochet and to the top loops of the bottom of the single crochet on the other end as well. So I have my hook in both of those stitches, and I'm going to single crochet. Again, I'm going to insert my hook into both loops of this end and this end in the next stitch, and single crochet. I'm going to repeat that across. Making sure to keep it lined up. Oops, there we go. 6 and 7, and then one more. Okay. So now I have the base of my beanie is joined, and now I'm going to be working in rounds around the top of my ribbed bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to single crochet around this evenly. I'm going to work one single crochet in the end of each row, so I'll have 78 single crochet at the end. So I'm going to chain one, and starting with row 1, and be careful not to count this row where I just joined. This next row, I'm going to single crochet into the end of that row. And I kind of like to hide, it's kind of hard to see, but if I were to put one in the obvious place, you can see it kind of causes this hole right there, and I don't like that. So I kind of like to go into this middle of the next stitch and kind of hide my hook in there, hide my stitch in there. So it's more of a, I guess, seamless transition from the ribbing to the rounds at the top. So again, I'm going to kind of insert my hook into the middle of this second stitch in the next row and single crochet. And I continue that all the way around, inserting my hook into the middle of that second stitch down so that I don't have holes across the top of my ribbing. I like for it to look a little bit seamless, going from the ribbing to the top portion of my hat. Here I am at the last stitch of my round, so I'm going to work my last single crochet. Oopsies. And then I'm going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch. So now you have a nice base, nice start for the rest of the beanie. And whenever I'm working a beanie like this, no matter what stitch I'm doing for the main portion of my beanie, I always like to start with a round of single crochet. It gives a nice even edge, so you're not trying to work any difficult or fancy stitch into the ribbing. I always start with this round of single crochet. For this beanie, we're just going to be doing double crochet. So I'm going to chain 2, and since the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, I'm going to be working at my first double crochet in the same first stitch as my join. I'm going to double crochet in each stitch around. Okay, I'm on my last stitch of this round. I'm going to join to my first double crochet in the round. And for my next round, just to add some extra texture, so we're not just doing a plain double crochet beanie, just add a little bit of texture to it, I'm going to double crochet in the back loop only. So just like we did the single crochets, we are going to insert our hook only in the back loop. And work a double crochet all the way around. and it just will add a little bit something extra to our double crochet beanie. See, you can see that front loop just kind of sticks out just a bit and adds just a little bit of something. I'm on my last stitch of the round. I'm going to join to my first stitch with a slip stitch. And there you can see it just adds kind of a cool little detail around when you work in the back loop only when you're working in the round. It has kind of a different look than when you're working in rows versus the round. So using that technique in two different ways for this beanie. So we're going to repeat this round, double crochet, back loop only in each stitch around 9 more times. So you'll be on row 12, starting with this row 1 of single crochet. You're going to end on round 12. So repeat this last round 9 more times. Okay, I finished all 12 rows of the main portion of my beanie. Now to finish it off, I'm going to do some decreases to make this top portion a little bit narrower. So I'm going to do 1 double crochet and then a double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches. And I'll show you what that means. I'm going to chain 2. I'm still working in the back loop only, so I'm going to do a double crochet back loop only. And then I'm going to do a double crochet 2 together in the back loop only. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to stop right there, leaving these 2 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the next stitch, back loop only, and pull up a loop. So now I have 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So you can see I just took those 2 stitches and turned them into 1. That's a double crochet 2 together, or a double crochet decrease. I'm going to double crochet back loop only in the next stitch. And again, I'm going to double crochet 2 together in the back loop only over the next 2 stitches. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on my hook. So I have 1 double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around my beanie. Okay, I just did my last double crochet 2 together in the round. So I'm going to join to my first double crochet. And I'm going to repeat that same round one more time. So I'll chain 2 and double crochet, back loop only, almost forgot, in the first, then double crochet 2 together, back loop only in the next 2. There we go. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around, double crochet 2 together, and don't forget you're only working in the back loop. Okay, I finished my last stitch of this round and I'm going to join to my first double crochet. Then I'm going to snip the end. I'm going to leave a really long end because I'm going to use this to sew up the end of my hat. So I left myself a really long end, pull that through, there we go. Now I'm going to cinch up this top portion of my hat. So this is what I have so far, and I need to close up the top of it. So I'm going to use my yarn needle, and I'm going to take this long end and I'm going to weave this end in and out of the top loops of this last row. I'm not doing it through every single stitch. I'm maybe every other or so. Pull it through and then do some more. All the way around, just weaving it in and out through the top loops. Doesn't have to be exact at all, so you're not going to see it. As long as it gets closed up, that's all that matters. This is how I always close up my beanies that I do from the top down. Alright, so I did it all the way around. You can see now it looks nice and cinched up. I'm going to close it nice and tight. Then I'm going to take this long end and I'm going to sew it closed. I'm going to pull it nice and tight. I'm going to go a couple different directions. Because I don't want any holes at the top. So I'm going to go a couple different ways here. Go diagonal, and go the other way. Check and make sure I don't have any holes. Don't think I do. Oh, right there's one. I'm going to get that closed. And this right here too. So I'm going to grab a little bit right there. I'm going to close this side up a little bit better. Okay. That's probably good. I don't think it's going anywhere. And then I'm going to stuff it down the center so that I can weave in the end on the inside of my beanie. Pull that through. And then I'm going to snip it a little, make it a little shorter before I weave it in. And I'm going to weave in all of my ends. My finished beanie. You can see it has this kind of gathered look around the top. This style of beanie looks really cute with the pom-pom. These are great for winter hats to donate maybe to a shelter or a school. Or you can leave it like this. It has a little bit of a slouch, and this is kind of a medium to large adult size. You can easily change the size by changing the width of this band. This band that we began with is the circumference of our beanie, and for this pattern it doesn't matter how big this is. It can be any amount of rows. So you just make it this band the length of the circumference that you want your beanie to be, and then you just keep going with this pattern until it's the correct length. I have a chart in one of my blog posts that I'll link here that will show you the correct sizes for each beanie and what you need for the circumference and what you need for length, depending on what size beanie you want to make. This is very customizable and can be any size that you want.